Hello, everyone, and this is the first live meeting for the Education Working Group, and I would like to start by presenting ourselves. My name is Adolfo Neto. I'm a professor at the Federal University of Technology here in Curitiba, Paraná, Brazil. So, Lee.
I'm Lee Barney. I am a professor at Brigham Young University in Rexburg, Idaho, in the United States.
Great. And Paul?
Hi. Yeah.
Is that the right pronunciation, Paul?
Yeah, Pau. But
Paul. Okay.
near. I am from the Marcon team. I'm a journalist and I live in Argentina.
Oh, great. Not very far from here. So I would like to start for people that are maybe watching this video later to explain that what's the Erlang Ecosystem Foundation. It's let me share the screen here and share some links. I'll put the link to the organization in the chat. Where I can also show here the link, and let me share my screen. I'm going to share this. Okay. Oops, yes. So this is the Erlang Ecosystem Foundation webpage supporting the next generation of advanced, reliable, real-time applications. And there is some text here. Basically, it's a foundation that takes care of the ecosystem for Erlang, and a programming language created at Ericsson many years ago, and Elixir, and the other languages that are going there that were created or are going to be created using the Erlang ecosystem. And for instance, there are many events related to those languages, to the ecosystem, like Elixir Fortaleza Conf, which I'm organizing in September here in Fortaleza, Brazil. CodeBeam Europe Berlin. Elixir Conf is not here, but it should also be. And I would like also to say that we are part of the, if you go here, there is the working groups. There are many working groups. Right now, I believe the embedded working group is also having its meeting. And we are here at the Education, Training, and Adoption Working Group. And the shares here, the current members, but anyone can join the Erlang Ecosystem Foundation. It's free for individuals. Well, oh no, it's the page is this one, join us. The basic membership is free for individuals. You can attend meetings like this one and also join our Slack workspace. At the Slack workspace, there is a hashtag education. How do you say? It's a channel, and you can be part of our discussions like this one. And I also like to say that if you are if you want to support the ecosystem, the foundation, you can be a supporting member. And if you are a company, then there is this for your company can be a sponsor, like all these companies here, those companies here, Erlang Solutions, Peer, Learn Elixir, many more. I believe I'm from Brazil, and there's no company from Brazil here. Only Dashbit that's from José Valim, but José Valim lives in Poland, so I'm not sure it's not exactly a Brazilian company. And I think that I comment this because I tried to convince some Brazilian companies to be sponsors, but no success. No, we are not yet there. One last thing is that, oh, sorry, no, it's okay. And yes, there are some topics that we have discussed before, and we'd like to have feedback from the community about what's relevant. What should we, as the education working group be doing. And I believe, Paul, that you suggested this, right? The I'm a Beamer TikTok campaign. I'm not sure.
Yes, I mean, it was an idea from the education working group, and they invite us from the marketing working group, to share ideas and that. And yes, that's the initial thought about it.
I suggested this that we could help someone to create live book for Erlang, but I believe this is not necessary anymore because I see that people at the live book organization, they are already creating some support. The latest version for live book, the computation notebook program that runs in Elixir also already has some basic support for Erlang, but maybe they will have more support. You still can't compile or a module, but you can add some Erlang code to a live book cell. And the what we would like feedback from people that are watching. I see there is someone watching already here, but I don't know. Maybe if you are watching, if you want to present yourself, you can type in the chat. You would like to have ideas. So okay, what else should we be doing? And that's where I stopped sharing this screen. And maybe Lee, do you remember anything else that we have discussed in our previous meetings?
So the need for there to be kind of a four-prong approach. We need to be able to, or we need to help existing developers know about Erlang. We need to help people who are entering their interest area, coming to the interest area of writing computer code to know about Erlang. So there's that. There is a need to help universities to teach more Erlang and Elixir. And I'm saying Erlang, but it's true for learning Erlang and Elixir and everything else. And we need to help companies adopt the language by helping them understand it. But it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. Without enough developers around, companies don't want to adopt it, and without enough companies around, developers don't want to learn it. And so we're trying to break that chicken and egg problem in this working group.
Yes, it's interesting because I see some people that want to work with Elixir, want to work as an Elixir developer or Erlang, but mostly it's usually it's Elixir, and they can't find a job. And
Yeah.
there are also companies that say, "Oh, I don't want to adopt Elixir because there is not enough developers around." So I don't see how. So one of my efforts in the latest years is to try to bring more new people to the community. And when I say new people, I'm a professor, so I have students so I have a course but it's an optional course on functional programming, so not many students. And now I'm organizing this conference, and maybe it's going to be inside a university. So maybe students from that university and from it's a big city, Fortaleza, it's a big city, maybe more than 1 million people. And all the universities around, maybe some people are going to attend. And so, but I remember, Lee, that you had some idea for an Erlang online course, right?
So I've written a lot of materials for functional programming and functional design for our university. and I am working on getting those into. I mean, those materials are online right now. They are open source. They can be forked. They're on GitHub. They're they're very flexible in their use, and that can help someone start. I'm also in the process of writing more traditional textbooks for each level of the computer science curriculum. So discrete math, algorithms, and complexity sorts of things, and beyond. Um, and that helps with the university part of the thing. The driving the interest and getting buzz. I think that's where Pau and what she's doing and trying to get going with the TikTok campaign really comes into bearing, because there's only so many people that you can interest if they don't know about something. And we're redoing our curriculum and requiring all students to take both functional programming, and in fact everything is done in Erlang, and then OO as well. So.
And Paul, and I believe there are sometimes we from the education group do some things or think about doing some things that are intersect with the efforts of the marketing team. So could you explain that a little bit more?
Well, this idea, for example, of doing some TikToks, we have to work together because you have like the information and the knowledge. So we were thinking about doing some videos about for beginners about the benefit of Erlang or Elixir in order to get younger people that use this new social media as TikTok or YouTube, also the shorts from YouTube, um, to get to know all those kind of things. We from the marketing team use the other social medias as Twitter, where we retweet or do some content ourselves. But this would be like a new thing, a new way of getting to know the Erlang Foundation. So well, we are in the initial steps, the first steps of the idea.
Yes. One thing that I remember we did a little bit during the pandemic, and for me at least, it was very useful, was the idea of talks. So in my course, I have had a talk from Simon Thompson's, a talk from Brujo Benavides, another talk from Laura Castro. And today it's maybe I don't know how it's happening in Leeds University, but at least here at the Federal University of Technology Paraná, most of the courses are offline, and well, but it's possible to have one or other online course, and also it's possible to have, for instance, for an offline course, you have a talk by someone who is abroad, and they can give that talk, and we can stream that talk to the students. So this is a call to professors all over the world that want to have a talk by one of one professor. For instance, right now, not exactly now, but in this time period, José Valim is working with a professor from France, and they are working on type. So it would be great to have a talk by. I'm even going to ask Valim later, because I intend to offer a functional programming course in October, and it would be great to have a talk from the PhD student who is who is with this professor in Valim studying types for Elixir. Okay.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Our course materials, a lot of it is already online for online classes and that sort of a thing. We have a team that is currently translating all of the materials, rewriting, not just doing a direct word for word translation. Obviously, that wouldn't be smart. We've got a team of engineers that we have hired to translate the materials into Brazilian Portuguese. They are software engineers from Brazil, and they're going to be doing that. And then that one is our preliminary, and then we will be translating all of the materials into Spanish at that point. And so then we will look at other languages as well.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
Help.
I believe those links should be in our homepage, right? The working group.
To the original materials that I wrote, I know it was in the working group channel. I can put them up in the current channel. That's not a problem.
Sorry, I'd like to talk to say to people that there is going to be this workshop, the Erlang workshop 2023. It's going to be, it's a sub-event. It's an event. It's inside a larger event, which is the International Conference on Functional Programming. I believe it's the most famous conference on functional programming. It is a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6-day event. And one day, the first day, right? Yes, the first day is a Monday in Seattle, Washington. Is the day is dedicated to the Erlang workshop. Oh, and if you can attend, you can. Oh, it's too late. Sorry, I thought the call for lightning talks was still open, but it's already closed. But they had a call for papers. They have accepted some papers. And so this is for scientific papers, right? And if you want to find other papers, there is these resources here, academic papers. There are many academic papers related to Elixir and Erlang. And you can, if you want to share, to add a new paper, you can just put here and it will be added soon. I believe there is a new paper that I'm going to leave that page open because there's a new paper that I want to add here from the paper on Elixir code smells was recently published in a very important software engineering journal. So that's going to be, it's going to be great to have it here too, if it's not already here. No, I can't see it here, so it's probably not here. So what else? Yes. Yes.
The important thing we can do is to encourage, like I've said before, encourage people who are using Erlang and Elixir to get onto social media and express how much fun it is to use and how it makes their life easier, and it's such a joy to use these languages and the problems that they're solving with them. Because yeah, we can write scientific papers and all those sorts of things, but a software engineer out in the world isn't ever going to interact with those. I'm not saying they're not important. That's not what I said. They are important, but it's not how we're going to reach the largest audience.
Yes, Twitter is now maybe dying, but people on Twitter use this hashtag here, my Elixir status, when it's a link or a comment related to Elixir. Unfortunately, I don't know if there is anyone other hashtag related to Erlang besides this one, because I remember Brujo Benavides says that when he searches for this hashtag, it comes some tweets not related to the Erlang language. That's why I and some other people, and I believe even the foundation has a Twitter account, use this "we being together" to represent all the Erlang ecosystem. So if you are on Twitter, you can use those hashtags, and you can also search for tweets with those hashtags, and then find some people like you, that people that are. I see that there is many people who are still active on Twitter. Oh, there's now also, I don't know if you already have accounts there, but there is this new social network. It's called Mastodon. Yeah, it's not that new, but let me share. So Jing Server Social is a Mastodon instance, and there are many people there. For instance, SpawnFest. Oh, SpawnFest. We should talk a little bit about SpawnFest. It's a kind of a hackathon, online hackathon, and 48-hour online software development contest. It's going to happen on October 28 and 29. And the latest edition, yes, here you can see the prizes and the winners. It's also an important event related. It's let me put the link in the chat, which is, of course, the Spawn Fest. I believe it's more directed to people who already know some Erlang. It's not for beginners, but the Twitter the Twitter hashtags, anyone can read the texts.
I don't know how it is around the rest of the world, but in the United States, pretty much only old people use Twitter.
No, here in Brazil, old people use Facebook. uh, there are some, yes, but here in Brazil, I believe the most used social network is Instagram, and these hashtags can also be used on Instagram, but of course, it's not the same thing. I believe the great thing is that some very important names in the Elixir and Erlang community let me use the past tense here, were active on Twitter before Elon Musk. So I mentioned José Valim, Robert Wording, Brujo Benavides, Laura Castro. The names are coming. Andrea Leopardi. Now some are on Mastodon, some are Valim. I believe José Valim announced yesterday that he's going to focus more on Blue Sky. The problem is that not everyone can have a Blue Sky account. So, but I have one, but so it's but of course, so for people that want to join the community, I believe it's very important to follow the forums, right? Let me share my screen here. So there is the Elixir forum, elixirforum.com, and the Erlang forums. Let me search here, Erlang forums. Where is the, yes, erlangforums.com. And of course, Slack. There is a Slack for Erlang. besides the Slack for the Erlang Ecosystem Foundation, there's a Slack for Erlang, a Slack for Elixir, a Discord server for Elixir. I believe there's no Discord server for Erlang, but there's many places where people can ask questions and share their knowledge. And of course, there are some newsletters too, and sites and everything else. So maybe that's one thing that we could do for the for the education working group is to join, because all this knowledge is scattered, it's everywhere. And if someone new wants to learn, oh, where can I find information about this? So that person has to, it's going to have some trouble finding the right places to ask questions.
So I've been playing around with this idea. I have a colleague who is into writing game engines and that sort of a thing. My background is in simulation as well. And we've been playing around with this idea of using Erlang OTP to write a game engine. And if we could get something like that up and going and some good demos of what you could pull off with it, that I think could also drive a lot of interest among young people. Because I don't know how it is anywhere else, but a lot of people come into our computer science degree. Oh yeah, I want to write games. By the time they leave, most of them don't want to write games anymore. But they are, but that's that's their experience with computing is games, and they think that's really cool, and that's what they want to do. And as we've sat down and brainstormed it, I mean, it's a lot of the game engines out there that we've been looking at and trolling through their source code are not all that great, but the OTP elements and spawning processes seems like a much cleaner way of representing what's going on inside of a simulation or a game engine, because we have all of those pre-built state machines and gen servers and all of those wonderful things. And if anybody in the community is interested in participating in something like that, I think it could be very valuable to help spread adoption, because there are there's plenty of game companies that are using Erlang in their backend.
Yes.
Being able to play around with it as a young person interested in computing isn't possible.
Yes, in my podcasts, I have two podcasts related to the Erlang ecosystem, and one is Hello Erlang, which is currently on pause because my colleague, my co-host there is Slava, who is in Ukraine, and you know what's happening in Ukraine. But we had in 2021 we interviewed someone that from Wargaming. They used Erlang in production there. And in my other podcast in Portuguese, I have interviewed someone from, I believe, Riot Games, and they use Erlang in production too. But it usually it is for only for the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so maybe I know there are some people that teach Elixir that they use games to motivate students to learn Elixir. Yeah, like Bruce Tate is an example. He also has an open Elixir chat community group where he teaches lots of people from all over the world, here from Brazil, from Kenya, and so from the US too.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that a distributed game engine would be something very fascinating to create. um, and to mess around with as a beginning game developer, right? Uh, what in the world could we pull off with that, as opposed to the very centralized C++ and C implementations that tend to float around out there now. There could be some amazing things done.
Okay, one thing that I believe it's interesting to share with people who are still watching this is the languages from the Erlang ecosystem. There are many more, many more than only Elixir and Erlang. There is this Airlock, Prolog, Fika, Hamler, Carmel, Bragful, Erlang, of course, Clojure, Lua, OTPCL, LFE. LFE and Lua were created by Robert Verdin, which is also one of the creators of Erlang. And Glean, I believe right now Glean is maybe the third most used language in the Erlang ecosystem, but I'm not sure. We should have a survey to see what's happening. Rufus, Cuneiform, Alchemy, Purell, and Elixir. Oh, and I found this. Maybe this could be the page where we could add information such as where people can share information and can find people to ask questions. The blogs they put here as blogs, but of course Elixir status is not exactly a blog, it's more than that, but it's maybe this should be renamed to sites, because there are many websites here that can be useful for people learning. Oh, I love this one, Erlang Battlegrounds Mini. This is a blog, because I have read some posts here. Yes, here is Slava, Vyacheslav Katsuba, my co-host at Hello Erlang. Okay, anything else, or can we finish now?
Pal, could you? I apologize. I was on the road for your last meeting. Could you send me in a chat the next meeting time?
Okay. Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
pretty sure I'll be able to be available for that one.
No problem. I mean, we can do a one video just to see if it is okay or not. I can, I don't know, reach out some people that were interested and to do a TikTok just for us to see, and there we can see if we like it or not and what we can do about it. But to move forward, I don't know if you think it's a good idea.
Yeah. The more exposure we can get, the better. I think it's a great idea.
Perfect.
So I would say that as a final call for all the viewers is you should go to our website, join the Erlang Ecosystem Foundation, join our working group channel on Slack. Oh, of course, first you have to join the Erlang Ecosystem Foundation Slack. And that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Lee. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.